I'm just on here live. Ain't got no reason. What up, people? How you doing, Oliver? I'm just on here live. No damn reading at all. Rain caught on board. Well, I'm avoiding doing any work right now. So I just want to see what y'all want to talk about. See if we can start a conversation here today. About any damn thing. Jennifer Davis, how are you doing? It's an open forum. I know a lot of people always have a lot of questions and want to make a whole bunch of statements. And I'm really curious as to why some people are even on my channel. I mean, I don't talk about the things they want to hear. So they just want to come here and tout out their little information for no apparent reason whatsoever. So I figure I go live and give those people an opportunity, or anybody an opportunity to say what they want to say. And people want to talk to me. People have asked if they can have conversations with me. And I don't feel like doing this cigar inventory right now. So I'm distracting myself by seeing if anybody want to have a conversation. See if you guys want to talk about something. It's cold as hell outside in Atlanta. Don't feel like doing anything outside. Really didn't have a subject matter, but I can make up one. We can make up a subject matter. We could talk about anything. I really would just here to talk about whatever. So the first person who pops up a subject matter, that's what we're going to talk about. It could be about any subject whatsoever. Does not matter. There's nobody in the lounge. But as soon as people start coming, I'm going to have to shut this down. But, you know, my channel is very diverse. Some people, you know, it's primarily here. We talk about the different spirituality things that I like, that I agree with, rather, that I think about, that I've researched and come to my own conclusion. There are people who come on here and they have a hard time dealing with that fact that every person doesn't agree with what they believe. That is a problem that we have. And that's one of the problems we have as humans. You know, to me, if you have a problem with what somebody believes, who are you to go and jump on their program, their forum, and have something to say? I would never walk into a church and just start berating the church people, or walk into a mosque and start telling them how wrong they are. You know, that's not my position to do so. But I love how people jump on my channel. There's some guy, he's watching like all my videos right now, and he just got to have something to say about everything. And I ignore these people 99% of the times unless they say something that stirs up a good conversation. But I like having great conversations. That's one of the reasons why I opened up Smoking Phoenix Cigar Lounge. It's for the sake of having great conversations. So I really want to know what you guys want to talk about today. What would you guys like to talk about? I'm going to start doing these more regularly. And sometimes we're going to have conversations. Sometimes I'll have a subject matter that we want to discuss, or that we want to get out, that I don't necessarily, I haven't figured out how to take a live video and put it on my YouTube and make it last longer. But definitely go over to my YouTube channel, which is my name, LARENZOREID. That's my YouTube channel, where I have like more long form videos on there. And there's been a lot of TikTok videos that I put on there over the last couple of months because I haven't had time to really do long form videos. OHM, Om. I was doing that this morning. This morning I was doing an Om meditation. After I did an meditation first to release some, me and my lady, to release some negative energy, release some stress, some anxieties of other people that purposely was drawn out. But then we did an Om meditation to kind of reset ourselves this morning. The deeper significance of hair, antennae. Okay, we can talk about that. I don't know a whole lot about that one. But oftentimes in ancient cultures, they believe that through your hair, you were able to connect with the spirit realm. This is why there's so much about hair in every religion, whether it's a woman needed to cover her hair, or the story of Samson and Delilah, which Samson is a fucking fool. He's an idiot, and it irks the shit out of me that was the one man they will guarantee is black, but he's an idiot. But through your hair, you're able to, now biologically we know that hair these are dead follicles, that they don't have life within them. But at the root of the hair, there is life. There's electricity that's going on. And through the hair on our head, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, they believe that it is through your hair, which is why it's through your hair that you can receive that information, that hidden information from the Creator, or from Ra, or the Agdod, or from Anu. The thing about it is, that's why when you see the Egyptian pharaoh hats, if you ever notice, oftentimes there's a antenna-like serpent that comes through, because serpents represented wisdom and protection to the Kemetic people. So that antenna that would allow them to download information from God. So that was used quite often. I see you laugh, probably laughing because I said that. What's that fool name? Samson was a fool. All right. I didn't think about it. In the story of Samson and Delilah, which is a dumbass story in itself, you got this dude, and let's just skip all the way to the end of the story. At the end of that story, let's go there first. The man is blind. He's chained to two pillars. He's chained there, they're making fun of him. Now, he had to been chained there for a long ass time in order for his hair to grow back to the point where he had enough strength to pull down the pillars and crush all those people, right? So while he was laying in prison and while he was being chained, they let his hair grow back. Now, they knew that through his hair is where he got his strength. So why would you let a dude who get his strength from his hair, why would you let the hair grow back? You cut his hair like every week. Every week it grow a little bit, you cut it. Every week grow a little bit. Every week you grow a little bit, you cut it. Why would you let the man get stronger and allow his hair to grow? That's a dumbass story. Just that part by itself is stupid. And it had to been over a period of time before they actually chained him to the columns, and then he pulled the columns down, and all these 300 people or something like that died. No, I think it was 3,000 people died, according to that story. But to me, Samson is a story that I use to teach my son about not listening to your penis. Don't listen to your penis. Because Samson is a perfect story to young men about how listening to your penis or your dick will get you in trouble. It will mess you up every time. Because here's this woman, Delilah. You know she's a Philistine. You know she's like your enemy, but you want that Philistine booty. You want that Philistine booty. So instead of getting him a good old girl from his community, he want to get this Philistine girl. The girl says, what's the secret of your strength? He tells her bind me with some new rope. And then she calls the Philistines in and it don't work. Oh, you lied to me. She gave him some good nookie. He bind him. Oh, you got to bind him with some old rope. So he bind him with some old rope. Oh, and then they try to come in there and kill him, but they don't. He succeeds. Oh, you lied to me. Why do you keep lying to me? Dude, the woman has shown you twice. Now, the first time, maybe. But the second time, come on, man. You ain't figured out this woman trying to kill you? Because every time you do what she says that'll take away your strength, here comes some Philistines. Samson was stupid. He's dumb. He was listening to this penis too damn much. And then the third time, of course, they get him because she tells him the truth. He tells her the truth. He's a dumb dude. He's dumb. One of the dumbest people in the Bible. One of the dumbest people. But yeah, I use that story to teach my son and my nephews that if you emotionalize your penis, you are setting yourself up for failure every god doggone time. Every time you emotionalize your penis, you're setting yourself up for failure. So that's the only good usage I found out of that story of Samson and Delilah is teach my son not to listen to his penis, my nephews not to listen to their penis. That thing down there will mess you up every time. So, but as far as like hair being an antenna, people have believed that. I'm not so sold on it because a bald head man can have information as well. So, but, and then what about people who just can't grow hair? You know, what's it, thirst trapping? Yeah, he got trapped with some thirst. I mean, you're going around, you whooping everybody's ass, you know, you killing all these dudes with a jawbone, and then you pick this Delilah chick who know that must have been some good booty. I'm serious. Good booty is talked about a lot in the Bible of men doing some stupid stuff over some good booty. If you think about the story of Abraham, and most people just want to think about, the promises of Abraham and all this other kind of stuff. But if you think about it, Abraham is going to Egypt. I think they had a famine, they had a drought or a famine or something, so he's going to Egypt. Tells his wife, who is his half-sister wife, tell the Pharaoh you my sister. Because you look so damn good that they might try to kill me. Now, by this time, I think she was older, like maybe 80-something years old when this happened. And then the Pharaoh was like, damn, out of all the women in the kingdom, he see her, this chick, and he's like, oh, shit, I want to get with her. She must got some good booty. And so he get down with her, marries her, and then, you know, God does all, which is weird because before they says, whoever blesses Abraham, I'll bless them. Whoever brings strife against Abraham, I'll bring strife against them. The Pharaoh had no idea that this was this man's wife, but yet the Egyptians were punished. Why? Maybe because when they wrote this story, Egypt controlled the whole Levant area, and they were just still pissed off at the Egyptians because they were there. They controlled the Levant. So, yeah, Goliath was a Philistine as well, right? So Goliath was a Philistine. So that Nephilim blood was still around even after the flood. Guess the plan didn't work. But you gotta, then Abraham, they find out, they do like, it must be this lady, that Sarai that I married. So Abraham take her and take all these slaves and take all, see, condoning slavery, take all these slaves, take all these servants, take some gold, take some sheep, take some goats and all that, and he left. Then that fool pulled the same trick a few chapters later on Amalek. Amalek didn't sleep with her, but had a dream, and his house was all of a sudden barren. Nobody could have a baby. And then Amalek was like, why you do this? Why you bring this treachery upon us? And he gave us some silver, gave his wife back, gave him some money. You realize Abraham became rich off pimping Sarah? People don't think about that. Abraham became rich pimping Sarah. He didn't become wealthy because he was just a shrewd business person. They tried to make him seem that way when he negotiated some land for a place to bury Sarah. But Abraham got rich. His first fundings was through pimping his wife, his sister wife at that. But hey, maybe we should. So the moral of the story is, if you got a wife, pimp her ass and get some money out of the deal. This is why I can't follow. I just can't follow this book. I can't be Jew, Hebrew, Jew, Christian, Muslim, none of those, because none of the Abrahamics. It's just, these stories are laughable to me. They are completely laughable. All right. You got to be more explicit. Eternal. I don't know what you mean by eternal. I'm going to give him more information. But yeah, I mean, the story, even in Galatians, it tells you that these stories are allegory. Now, even as an allegory, the message is pimp your wife to the pharaohs, to the kings, to the people with money, and then you will get all this stuff, right? Hey, Kedra. Make sure I say her name right. Kedra. I got fussed at for saying her name wrong in a video. Kedra. But yeah, I mean, if the whole story of Abraham is for allegory, so what is the allegory? What is the story? Because allegories are stories, made up stories in order to teach a message, teach a lesson. And yeah, people will jump to the the promise of Abraham, and he separated from the people and worshipped only God with Enlil, but worshipped Jehovah. But and people claim their heritage from that so that they can have a nationality, that sort of thing. But the fact still remains that there is still the story of Abraham pimping his wife two times to get sheep and get their equivalency of money, get their equivalency of, okay, Kiki, to get their equivalency of money. So what was the movie where Demi Moore was pimped out by her husband to get some money, $1 million from the guy? Indecent Proposal. I mean, effectively, the Abraham and Sarah story is the guidelines of Indecent Proposal. Only they knew they was gonna get some money out the deal. I ain't smoking my cigar enough, so I keep going out on it. They knew they were getting money out the deal. So Abraham just didn't know he was gonna get some money the first time. But that second time, when he went to Amalek, I'm quite positive Abraham knew he was gonna get some money. So again, if it's an allegory, according to Galatians, then the moral of the story is, if you have a fine-ass wife, pimp her out to the rich dude, and then make sure some turmoil and some bullshit, put some magic on that dude, so that you can then get some money out the dude, and you can then set up your family for generations to come, because that's the godly way of doing it. You know. Tell me something different. Tell me I'm not wrong. Tell me I am not wrong that if it's an allegory, that's the moral of that story. If not, then why is the story there? It serves no other purpose other than to tell you how Abraham got wealthy, because there's no other lessons you can learn about that story. You know, people will, and if they ever do preach about it, they'll twist the story to show that, well, the Pharaoh slept with Abraham's wife, and that's why punishment came upon the Pharaoh. But just a few verses before that whole story started, that God said, those who bless you, Abraham, I will bless them. Those that hinder you, harm you, I will harm them. The Egyptians did absolutely nothing wrong to Abraham. It was a king's right to take on a maiden who was not married. And since Abraham lied, that king unknowingly took on a married woman. The Pharaoh unknowingly took on a married woman. So you cannot blame the Pharaoh for what happened as far as the sicknesses and everything that happened in his kingdom, because he did not know. It isn't like he said, oh, that's your wife? I don't give a shit. She fine as hell. She got that good punani. I'm about to get it. And damn, it was good. He didn't do that. He thought she was single. So why was he punished? Should not have been punished. It's more propaganda, is what the story is. And a lot of things in there are simply propaganda. Nothing more than propaganda. So, I mean, y'all tell me something different. Because that's the allegory of it all. That's the allegory of the whole story. And it's a repeat story. There's always sex and money is a big story in that thing. Sorry, getting messages from a gourmet popcorn shop 3 doors over. But I really love for some of you people, some of y'all to come. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's bring it out. Who knows of another story that's similar? I always was wondering about that whole thing about how when, what was the dude name? Jacob, before he became Israel, Israel, ISIS, El, Babylonian El. He painted some pieces of wood, made the sheep have sex in front of the wood. Oh, you know I gotta play my jazz over here, Keidra. Painted some in front of the wood, made the sheep have sex in front of the wood, and the babies came out with spots and speckles on them. So basically, the moral of the story is use some funky ass magic biology to gain wealth. Trick your daddy-in-law in order to gain wealth. And of course, people say, well, he took the worst people and made them into great people. That in itself is some bullshit as well. You can't do that. That doesn't work. So you love the music, Keidra? That's why you should have came over here to the lounge when you came to visit the popcorn shop. You should have came and hung out with me. You know, we just have grown folks conversation. We don't talk about this kind of stuff. You know, we talk about everything else in the lounge. We don't talk about religion or we don't talk about politics too much. A little bit here and there, depends on the group. But most of the time, we just talk about money and sex, relationships, or anything else. Events that are going on. I want to know what you guys want to talk about. I must have pissed off some people because there were like 47 people. Now they now went down to 11 people. Coming next time. All right, I'm gonna hold you to it. You can't have this cigar. This is a Camacho Triple Maduro. This will put you on your ass. This one have you walking out a little bit wobbly. Beelzebub said that he was the prince in the two heavens. And the prince in the two heavens. How? I didn't see you sneak that one through. That one, I can honestly tell you, I don't know. I can't remember. Let me put it that way. The hardest thing for me is that I studied a lot of these things from the time frame I was 9 years old. I'm 50 years old now. There are a lot of things I studied that I haven't looked at in a long time. But he's the prince in the two heavens. The two heavens. My mind is clicking. It ain't clicked yet. No. Well, when I think about it, back in those times, when these stories were written, they believed that there was a heaven above and there was a heaven in the underworld. They got the underworld heaven from the Egyptians and the Greeks. That's why we got Hades. That's why Osiris is, or Heru. I mean, not Heru. Asar. His kingdom was underneath the earth. Kind of a deal. So if Beelzebub is claimed to be the god of the prince of the two heavens, then he will be the god of, he will be the prince of, not god of, he'll be the prince of both the heaven above and the heaven and the underworld. Now, the underworld didn't become this negative evil thing until the Romans took over Christianity. And they started to equate it with Hades. And by that time, Hades starts, was a bad guy because we have the story of Hera and Persephone. Is it Persephone or Persephone? Whatever that chick name is. That's why we have wintertime, because she's down in the underworld with Hades. And Hera's like, fuck it, I'm not going to let anything green grow until my daughter comes back in the spring. And that's why we have springtime. Because Hera is now happy. So they believe that there was an underworld as well as a above world. Hey, man, how you doing?
I gotta ask you a question, man.
Y'all hold on for a
my
second.
sister blowing it out. She said it ain't nothing.
I'm sorry, what was that?
My sister blowing it out. She said that's just them. Is it still like that around here in that county?
Blowing it off, I don't understand.
Okay. I went over there and got me my vape. I'm walking across the street. When that county comes up, he see me, do a U-turn. Come back around, looking at me. I'm crossing the street. I ain't thinking nothing about it.
Okay.
I get here, he pulls up, he goes past me. I'm like, dude, what I all did? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get over there. He's sitting there waiting to see where I go.
Yeah.
I said, God damn.
Yeah, you black in Stone Mountain. What do you think?
You understand what I'm saying?
You black in America.
But I'm sitting there going like, God damn.
You black in a town that most of their cops are white.
I know it, but I'm just sitting there going like, most of them try to hide it. Now, they don't just be out there in your face.
No. You understand, Gwinnett County, there's two things about Gwinnett County. First thing is that Gwinnett County still has a lot of racist cops. That's the first thing. The second thing about Gwinnett County is that they have learned from counties like Cobb County that the best way to increase their taxes is to get every person they just to write tickets for everything.
Every little thing.
So effectively, they could have one, you black, but
Yeah.
two, you weren't crossing at the crosswalk, were you?
Yeah.
So that's jaywalking, right?
Yeah.
So they could have been looking at you for jaywalking. Now, because you got that non-cigar in your hand, which you know you ain't smoking in here.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm frustrated.
They probably just assumed you're coming over here.
Yeah.
And because I made it a point to go have a good relationship with the cops over here, because I knew I was a black man opening up a cigar lounge in this area, they will give you a pass for coming over here.
Oh, okay.
But most likely, they looking at seeing what they can get you on some kind of suspect you on something.
God damn, man. I was sitting there going like, he was hard, too.
Yeah. Now, they do it to these white people who go to Will Henry because they don't like redneck hillbilly white people either.
Oh.
So it's like they don't like neither one. They want to keep this area more of a middle and upper middle class area. Yeah. So they will look for any people who are breaking the smallest little law around here. So that's all. But you black and you jaywalking. But you black.
You know how many people I don't see jaywalk here ever?
They don't care. You black and you jaywalking. That in itself is enough.
That's it?
Yep.
Damn. People gonna do all that because I was jaywalking.
Yeah. Because then if they get you for jaywalking, then they can get your information and run it to see if you have any warrants or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to America.
Yes, sir.
Which is why I want to get the hell out of here.
I want to go back to the motherland, man.
There ain't no going to.
Where you going?
Probably in about 5 to 7 years.
What part?
I don't know yet. Maybe Ghana, Senegal.
Okay.
Depends on where I'm going to do business at. And then after I get this program going here in America first, so I can get black people out of this stupid ass situation that we in.
I've been thinking about my same thing myself, man.
Well, you have to talk to them about it. Right now I'm on a live.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now you all right. They probably you probably have just given us a subject matter anyway to talk about.
Hey.
Hold on, let me scroll backwards. Let's see. I saw you laugh. You got to link up with Kevin Wesley again, bro. Actually, me and Kevin do talk. We talk like a couple times a month. So he's still my guy. But we will do some more stuff together. I agree. I was just talking to Ricky too. All three were awesome together. Ricky and Kevin had a falling out, so I don't think that's going to work. Come on, y'all. Let's get Coach Likes up. You so silly. Cobb County is a huge mess in Cobb County all day, but my city is... Yeah, people think Cobb is racist, and to a certain degree they are. The main thing about Cobb County is writing tickets to get more money out of people. Stop acting clueless on how life. I know, it's funny, right? People will walk in, see that I'm doing something on a video, and then just keep talking. Like I ain't doing nothing. I'm like, seriously? And then he got a Black and Mild. You ain't walking into my cigar lounge no damn Black and Mild and think you gonna smoke. I had to tell him one time, bro. He tried to come in here and think he was gonna smoke that damn Black and Mild. I was like, you done lost your damn mind. For 9 years in Dallas. I don't know what you mean by that, sir. But like it's the same in Dallas. Look, these cops have figured out very quickly and very easily. The greatest way they're like debt enforcers. If you have a warrant, they want to get that money that you owe. Even if you missed it for anything, doesn't matter. It could be a speeding ticket. I saw some video the other day where a woman got she missed a court date because she had a violation in her yard, and the homeowners association had levied a kind of a ticket or something against her, and she missed the court date. So she wound up going to jail because they won't get that money. So now they can get court fees and all these other kind of things. But if you ever, Keys, are going to Marietta Square is built the way it is, built up because they started really writing tickets back in the late 80s, early 90s. Well, no, in the mid 80s, so that they can get their revenue up. And I knew it because the mayor of Marietta at the time, her son, me and him graduated together. And he told me that he overheard her talking about the fact that they want their police officers to write as many tickets as they possibly can so they can drive revenue for the city so that they can start doing all this reconstruction and redesign of the city. So a lot of it is racist when it's directed towards black people, but then the other part is driving revenue. There was a report that showed that white people and black people are pulled over equally at night because you can't tell who's driving the car. But during the daytime, when they can see you black, then black people are pulled over more often. It's a fucked up, messed up statistic, which is why I want to get out of this place. I can't stand America. But we got some things to do. I got a phone call that I'm making later on the day, talking to a gentleman, so we can get started on this process of setting up like a new Akibulan in America. And then as that gets set up, I'm taking my happy ass on to Africa and live over there. I'm not living here with y'all. Y'all can have this place. I'll build business here, but I'll funnel all that damn money to the Caribbean and to Africa. There ain't no way I'm staying here. Other than if people do work with me to build this new Africa in America, then I'll build business here. Beyond that, you're done with this country. Man can't. Now, granted, he was walking across the street. He's breaking the law by jaywalking. But of course, everybody over here does it. But they've never pulled it. I've never seen them pull anybody over for that. They're really looking for you to be drunk, intoxicated, because of this bar that's behind me. They have had problems over the years with drunk white people leaving that bar and creating problems in these suburban neighborhoods around here, and acting a fool because the corner that my store sits on, they have massive car wrecks over there like constantly. But we gotta get out of this country, or we gotta build a country within this country. Take over a state, then take over another state, then succeed from the union and form our own nation. It could be done. I can't stand those people who come onto my TikTok and all they got to say is the negative things like, oh, we can't do it. Oh, the white man ain't gonna let us. Like, y'all some punks, straight punks. If you sit up there and you believe that you can't accomplish something because the white man gonna burn your town down or they gonna do something eminent domain to stop you from doing what you're doing, you don't understand the process of how you can win with their own rules, with their own laws. And then you use their own laws against them to create what you want to create. And then you use worldwide publicity, like people telling me I need to be quiet. I don't need to tell everybody what the plan is. I need to wait and then just unveil and then just do it. How in the hell can I do it if nobody knows except for the people that come in direct contact with me? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? How can I get the people to understand the process and the program? How can I get the bankers and the engineers and the lawyers and political people to come on board if I don't broadcast it? I don't know, 100,000 people, but through social media we can get together and we can join and we can create the desired outcome. And so it has to go loud. But like one person said on one of the comments, they said something to the effect that white people don't pay attention to black people. They ain't paying attention to me. They're not. By the time they start paying attention to me, it's too late. We've already taken like 20, 30 steps before they will start paying attention. And at that point, we will have their own laws on our side. And then if they try to change those laws with worldwide publicity, we can do the same thing that they do to anybody, any other country or any other group that's trying to make a difference. And by that time, other large black organizations should be ready, at least a few should be ready to join in as well. And I'm not talking about NAACP and all them, because the motherfuckers ain't doing nothing anyway. They're going to side up with the white people and try to stay. We want to stay America. We don't want to separate ourselves. Abraham Lincoln told y'all, the oppressed and the oppressor can never live together. One must always be on top and the other must be on the bottom. And it was his preference that the white man be on top. You can buy a whole town. There are so many ghost towns around America. Who said that? I ain't got my reading glasses on. I can't see everything. Dada, I'm gonna mess that up. Dada Crispy? Dada Crespi? I'm messing that up, I know. But you're absolutely right. There were 2 young black ladies who went and they got together with some other folks and they purchased like 90 acres of land in middle Georgia. And they're in the process of building their own town, so which is something you can do. And then as they build their town, see, imagine if 500 people decided to go and join them and live in that town and build that town, build the infrastructure. We're dedicated to the process in order to support each business that comes down there. And then you got to be mindful of what business come down there. Everybody can't flock there at the same time. You got to do this in stages and waves. And then as those businesses prosper, and then more and more people coming in, it's 1,000 people. Now that you got 1,000 people, you can have more businesses down there. You can have schools down there. You can have, you can start to build grocery stores and other things that you need for quality of life. You can have your bowling alleys, your movie theaters, and then you continue to grow. If it's a small town, once you start hitting numbers like 5,000, 10,000 people, now you can elect your own officials of that town. As you elect your own officials of that town, then you start to control your government in your town. You continue to grow. More and more people will join in at that point. As more and more people join in because now they think it's safer and it's working, then you start to take over a county. As you take over a county, more and more people start joining. More people start moving and coming to your area. You're building. Now you can take over the next county and the next county. And before long, you own the voting block of a state. As you own the voting block of that state and continue to take more counties over, you then control the entire state. Once you control the entire state, more and more people will come, and then you just repeat the process in the next state. You want to do it in an adjoining state. You don't do it in like, I'm doing it in Georgia, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try to do it in Arizona. No, it's got to be connected so that your borders are tightly together. You get yourself about 5, 6 states, because there's enough black people to gain the upper hand on 5 or 6 states. Then you can say, bye-bye, America. We won't need your ass no more. We'll set up agreements with you. We'll trade with you. But your laws are not our laws. We own our own police. We own our own judges. We own our own prison system. We own our own medical system. We own our own military industrial complex. But it's ours. We're not being exploited because it's ours. And then we will have negotiations and trade and work with Caribbean nations that are black owned and ran, and African nations that are black owned and ran. At that point, us and those nations become a world power, a black NATO, so to speak. And then the world can't tell us shit. And we're providing a safe haven for people of color to be able to live their lives without being harassed daily by some damn cops. Say, if we all split, we will have civil war. If we split, we will have civil war. We already split politically. It won't work. And there's one of those people. The issue is class. It's the haves and the have-nots. If you don't have money, you don't count. You see, that's the kind of person, and you're one of those people as well. Are you black? I can't even see your name. It's grayed out. What dude? That's your name? What dude? Yeah, what dude? You see, the mindset of what dude is a Western American oppressed mindset. You think it's that linear. You think it's just that cut and dry. It's not. Yes, is there a battle between the haves and the have-nots? Of course they are. All right? We all are depending on your view. No, it wouldn't be a seven. No, it's not at all. Okay, but I ask, are you black? Are you black? The biggest issue is class. Are you serious? This is why critical race theory needs to be taught. Because if you believe that the biggest issue facing black people is class, then you are truly misinformed. Okay, brother or sister. I don't know. Well, you said dude. So, okay, brother. If you think that class is the biggest issue, you're mistaken. Now, I can understand how you may think class is the biggest issue because poverty creates crime and poverty begets poverty. Because if a person generally is born into poverty, that person would generally stay into poverty. Maybe the child would do 10% better. What's up, dude? What up, man? Generally, the children will only do 10% better than their family members. But you have to understand, how did we get here? That's the problematic part that you're not really conceptualizing. How do we get here? I just did a video about critical race theory like an hour ago and posted it. One example, just one, because I don't even want to go all the way back to Freedman Bank. Let's just go to FDR's New Deal, which FDR's New Deal is what has perpetuated the black plight to this day. FDR's New Deal, he said that he created a bank. I forgot the name of the bank, but the bank was supposed to guarantee every American a house. Every American a house. That's what they said out loud, right? Now, after they did the bank, they drew up lines and decided to show where black people lived. Black people lived in the red areas. Because of Jim Crow laws, they were able to, and this is called redlining, they were able to deny loans for homes, because buying land is the first thing to building wealth. Well, back then, it's somewhat today, but not as much. But buying land was the first thing that leads you to wealth. They made sure that the black people were not able to purchase the homes that they were living in. And by doing so, they perpetuated what is called the ghetto and the hood. I'll take care of it after I'm done with this. They perpetuate the hood. Now, that put black people in a situation where economic growth was hindered, right? So if you're only looking at things as to how they are today, you got to go back to how did they get there? How did they get there? It's not like black people were sitting around doing nothing, like black people weren't working. Black people were working. But with so many roadblocks to wealth put in place by white people, black people didn't have the same opportunities to grow wealth as a white person did. They were stopped at every cause. Voting. Black people went out and voted big time. So since black people were not able to vote and put their people in office, then black people weren't given the same representation in federal government and state government, right? So no, I'm not saying wealth. I'm saying that you got to look at what prevented wealth to be able to grow. Yeah, you got to make money. There will always be poor people. There will never not be poor people. Just as there are rich white people, there's a whole bunch of poor ass white people. There's more white people on government assistance than anybody else, right? But if you can't understand how by doing something different is going to move us out of that state, then you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. If you think that, if we try to separate, it's going to be a civil war. Dude, this is not 1860. Okay? This is not where the world is sitting up there. And yeah, they don't like black people. The Western world don't. But you're obviously not paying attention to what's going on in Africa right now. You're not paying attention to what's going on in India and what's going on in the Caribbean and in South America. Black people are growing in power constantly, continuously. Black people are taking over their countries. Matter of fact, the president of Ghana, about 5-6 months ago, told the European Union that no longer will you receive Guyanese cocoa for refinement. No longer will you receive Guyanese gold, but we will refine our gold and refine our cocoa ourselves. So if you want chocolate, you're going to get Guyanese chocolate. You want gold, you're going to get Guyanese gold. Them white people damn near lost their mind. You're not paying attention to the fact that in Rwanda, President Kagame, after the Chinese and Indians built their railroads and all their systems, railroad systems, highways, IT infrastructure, all of that, they then kicked them out, said we will not continue to give you these contracts, but we're going to take over these contracts for ourselves. And then went on to start forming the East African Federation, which will make the East African Federation the largest landmass in Africa, largest country in Africa, give them the largest military and the largest economy. What it'll also do is also promote more and more black countries to truly grow and gain their independence. true independence. Now, what it's also doing is that the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, just applied to be a part of the East African Federation, which they are the most mineral rich country in the world, which will give them so much economic power. You see, an American oppressive mindset will say that black people can't separate from white people, but they're doing it in Africa, they're doing it in the Caribbean, and there's no reason why we can't do it here as well. So here's the thing. In the first video that I did, one of the videos I did, I talked about the law of what is it called? The law of innovation, the law of something of innovation. What up, man?
What's going on with you? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, you all right? You all right? You should have been here 5-10 minutes ago. We could have stayed on a subject that you and I would jive on. But in that law, it says that 16% of the people will never, ever, 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 ever get on board with whatever is new, whatever is coming on. Your mindset is part of that 16%. Unless you change your mindset, brother, you're going to be left behind in that 16%. You'll be the ones that sits in America and still says that, well, you know, we got to keep voting and we got to get them to spread the wealth and all that, and they need to pay us reparations. They ain't gonna ever give you no damn reparations. That ain't ever gonna happen. You got to take shit in this country. What? And I don't blame white people. I don't. What people gives up their power? None. No people give up their power. Shit, no. If you want power, if you want balance, you want equality, you got to do something different and take that shit.
Because as soon as they give you reparations, they're going to be like,
why do you want to separate? I don't know. You not said a bunch of stuff and I didn't see all of it.
Straight. Don't ask for nothing else.
See, you say yes, but what do black people do now? Well, the first thing that black people do now is not sit up here and talk about how something ain't going to work. That's the first thing. Change your mindset.
You ain't going to get no businesses. You're going to go to the dealership.
Doesn't matter whether it instantly pump up. Look at all these people instantly pumped up to go fight a war in Ukraine. Yeah, of course they are. Why do we separate? Give me a positive bucket list, then give me a neck. Dude, you asking for a whole lot of shit.
We pay for our sins.
Voting doesn't work. It sure don't. All right. Got a lot there, bro. Let me see if I can hit some of your points.
That's how that works.
Because I ain't going to stay here too long after people start walking in the lounge, interrupting my flow. But only because these brothers walked in. If some other brothers walked in, I have to be like, nah, you know, we got to shut this down. All right. But we've already talked about these kind of things at length. So let me give you some positive bullet points, bucket list. If black people were to separate and create their own land inside of America, let's say we were able to if there's 41 million black people in America, let's say that, and out of that, like I said, 16% will never join in. 60% is going to love up to massa all they can. They're going to think that being with massa is the best place that they can ever be. All right. So 16% ain't ever going to be down with it. The law of innovation, I can't think of the name of that shit.
You said it.
I know I said it the other day. But basically it goes like this. Initially, you're going to have 3% of the people who are ready to do anything new to make a change in their life. Then you're going to get this next 10% that comes along. But 13% is not enough. You have to go over the tipping point of 18% in order for it to become, greetings everyone, you got to go over 18% for it to become a movement. Once you go over 18%, then the next 32.6% called early adapters will join in. And then you have the late comers, which is the next 32.6%. Now that leaves about 17% that's not going to do anything at all. So when black people separate, and give you those numbers because if you look at it, that's roughly about 30-something million black people. 30-something million black people is enough of a voting block to be able to come to states of, let's say, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and take over those states. Take over those states. Completely own the state from top to bottom, from Senate down to the lowest person, from governor, congressman, everything in between. You'll be able to take over those entire states. As you take over those entire states, then you succeed. Now, when you're taking over those states, you have to ensure that everybody who is in political office who can do anything is black. Right? They're black. The police training changes. Just the police mindset changes. Because every time I was in Africa and I see a police officer, that anxiety that you feel here in America, never have it. So let's start with that. Quality of life is better because you don't have anxiety just because you see blue lights. All right, so that's quality of life. The other quality of life is that you can now change the educational system when you own a state in order to own a state or a country in order to reflect what type of education you desire. So now your children are being educated in a proper way. So we can reinstitute trades into schools. We can reinstitute critical thinking into school. We can reinstitute economics into schools so that our kids come out of school better prepared to be adults in our society. They're not concerned about the white man owning all the businesses because the white man doesn't own the businesses in this country. The businesses are owned by black people. So your upward mobility is not predicated on your skin tone, but your upward mobility is predicated on how well you're able to do the job and how much money you bring into the company, right? So that will change those things right off the bat. You can change your monetary system and you can change the way your monetary system is set up so that you can control inflation better. When you look at the fact that East African Federation will now have the DRC, if the East African Federation were to base their money on, what's the mineral that's in every phone? It starts with a C. I forgot what it is called, but it starts with a C. If they base their money on that mineral, then their money will be the highest valued currency in the world. All right. Now, one of my processes in doing this, and actually it's the very first process, which is a phone conversation I'm having later on today, is setting up an international bank. And the reason why the bank will have to be an international bank because I don't want to go through all the bullshit that you got to be to have an FDIC bank in America. I don't care. Somebody brought those in here. All right. So we own our own money. We own our own legislation. We own every damn thing in the country in this country that we control. Then just like there is white privilege, it becomes black privilege. Now, what are some of the negatives? Sure. Will we have a military as large as the white military? Initially, we won't. Will we be in a position where we got to fight? Yeah, we may have to fight. But the beautiful thing about fighting a defensive war is that you have a better chance of winning a defensive war than you have of winning an offensive war. This is why when Hitler turned and tried to attack Russia and fight a two-front war, he got his ass whooped. But if you're fighting a defensive war, and while you're fighting this defensive war, you actually have, because we live in a world of social media and a whole bunch of bleeding heart people, you start showing where you legally separated from America, and the American Constitution guaranteed you the ability to do that, but the American government wants to be oppressive and stop you from doing it, then they look like Putin, and we look like Ukraine, right? And the world condemns that action. Now, like I said, this is why it's very important that we make agreements with countries like the East African Federation, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, the Ivory Coast, all these other countries that are integral to the continuation of Western culture, still getting their oil, getting their minerals and all that kind of stuff. Because if they are our partners, not only do they provide military help, but they will provide economic help as well as moral help. When you have those kinds of things and you can have the hearts and minds of the people inside of the other countries going against what their country is trying to say, then that country will lose on a moral battle. This is exemplified in the Vietnam War. When the people decided that the Vietnam War was bullshit and didn't want to have a part of it, and it was mainly because it was televised, the Vietnam War was the first televised war in history. And when people saw the atrocities that was going on, the American people bucked against the American government participating in the Vietnam War. So although war is possible, it is highly unlikely that war would actually happen. Because here's the other thing. As a former military person with a high ass clearance, there are certain military instruments in place in these states that I named that most people don't even know exist. And yeah, they're going to want that shit back. They're going to want control of that. They will eagerly want it. But if we already got control of it, and we change the system that runs it, then there's not a lot they can do. Now, granted, a place like Kings Bay, Georgia, which houses nuclear submarines, as soon as Georgia becomes a black state, I guarantee you the federal government will try to move those submarines out of Kings Bay. But what they will leave them behind is the infrastructure to be able to build our own nuclear submarines, because all the infrastructure to build a nuclear submarine is there. There are other aspects of things similar to that is already here. I live in the metro Atlanta area. Lockheed is right up the street. Most of your newest jets are designed and built there. So even though they will try to move, the infrastructure to build exactly that is already there. This new government has to take a primary step when we have those installations to start building our own protection. You see, many people don't think about it into those details, which is why people think we're just gonna get our ass whooped. They're just gonna fight a war. They're just gonna burn this down or burn that down. No. It ain't that easy, bro. It ain't that easy. And when you fight a defensive war, all you got to do is be able to last. And because we will have ports, and because we will have farms, it will enable us to sustain a siege a lot longer than most other places. You see what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, you're talking out of the side of your neck. Bro, I've been working on this shit for about 10, 15 years now. This ain't new. And I don't know everything. Of course I don't. There's many people that will have to come alongside in order for that, in order to create that. These great ideas of yours speaking need to involve race. They just need to happen in general. Are you freaking kidding me? We live in racist ass America, and you saying it doesn't need to involve race? How long have our people been trying to get balance in this country? And what's the only reason why they can't get balance? Because of their race. That's it. The only reason you can't get balance in America is because of your race. So hell yeah, it's about race. It needs to be about race. Okay, I'm done with you.
We want equality and not revenge.
I can't keep going with that. Yeah. As I said, there are 16% of the population who will never go along, who will never join in. You, sir, are probably that 16%, or at the very least, you are of the 32.6% that will come later on because you ain't really got much of a choice. Because as soon as we separate, you think it's racist in America now? Those black people that stay with the white people, oh, your ass gonna catch all kind of hell. Who are you? Show your face. Why talk behind BS page? Oh, you talking about the other dude? Let's not feed into the frenzy of a person who probably wouldn't do anything to move in that direction anyway. I am gonna charge. I'm charging you for every damn thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, just FYI, we're 30 days. We done.
You done? Like giving up your lease done? Well, time for me to go build a restaurant.
Yep.
They definitely need to be race-centered. White people. I mean, this whole country is built off race. You think them pilgrims came over here and them Puritans came over here and they was like, oh, let's live in harmony with the native people. Bullshit. And let me tell you two other groups who should be saying like, yes, dude, we're going to rock with you. This is why I did the video where I said the first thing we got to do is lay down our religious differences and let that not be the thing that continue to separate us. Because the Hebrew Israelites, many of them claim that America is the new Israel. And if they want land, this is a process they can have the land. I said three groups actually. The Nation of Islam used to talk about separating. Now, even though they had the chance to do it before, now they will definitely have a chance to separate. And then you have those people who claim that they black like me, but they claim that their forefathers are indigenous to America. I don't care. But you claim that your forefathers are indigenous to America, but you ain't getting a Creek Nation. When I rode across country, we rode straight through the Creek Nation. They got their land, but you ain't gonna get it. You look like this, you ain't getting no land. You ain't getting no reservations. That's not happening. It's not. But what you can get, you can be in this new black America. I couldn't even call it America. I'd be damned if it's called America. It'll be like Black Akibulan or the New Akibulan or something like that. But in the New Akibulan, hey, you can be right around saying we indigenous, but at least you're in now a country that is ran by people who look like you. And now you ain't sitting up here bitching and whining about how they don't recognize you. Because now you don't need their approval to be recognized. Now you can live in a country that looks, everybody, the majority of people are going to look like you. Because there's going to be some white people that are going to want to stay. There's going to be some Indians and Arabs and some Latinos that going to want to stay. And that's fine. They just can't be in power. They're just not going to be in power. I ain't trusting none of them motherfuckers to be in power. Hell no. It's going to be for us, by us. And you either going to like it or not. Plus, according to the Hopi Indians, White people are fire, black people are water. People on the Western Hemisphere, they're earth. And then people on the and Asiatic people, they're wind. The fire and the water are the only two that can never coexist together. We can coexist with the earth. Water and the earth, they exist well. They bring forth vegetation. Water and wind, they work together because the wind helps to create waves so that the water continues to find its nutrients and oxygenate. But fire burns the earth. Fire and the wind will flame the fire. But fire and water never get along. Shit ain't gonna ever work. So just like Abraham Lincoln said, the oppressed and the oppressor can never live equally together. And if it is his choice, he prefer the white man to be the oppressor. That's from the dude that people run around. Thank you, Lincoln. He freed the slave. That man wouldn't have freed one slave if he could have kept the Union together. Which, even though I am grateful for the Civil War, that shit actually was illegal. You look at the Constitution, the South was well within their rights to secede from the Union. But I ain't mad that they went ahead and fought the war. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all a certain little bit. I'm having a conversation later on today with a guy who was a banker. Because we're going to need money in order to do this. Unlike most organizations, I'm not looking for your donation. I don't want you donating shit. Right? Donations are fine. But, you try to build an organization through donation, then you're always trying to pull from people who most likely don't have the money to do it anyway. But the best way in order to begin the funding of a project to the level to which I'm talking about, you have to start with a bank, which is why we're going to be talking about offshore banking, because we don't want to have a bank that's subject to American rule and subject to American regulations. We want a bank that's not subject to American regulation, and it's cheaper and easier to start the bank. We don't need as many deposits inside a bank in another country, but it still has to be a strong country. All right. So the fact of the matter is, when we do this, when I talk this and we set up this bank, it will be the way I'm gonna set it up. It will be super appealing for people to join this bank. I mean, like, you'd have to be an idiot financially to not join this bank. Once we have enough funding in this bank, we'll be able to then start to buy and purchase the property needed, as well as fund all the projects in order to build and continue to grow. And as more and more people join it and more people be a part of it, we'll be able to grow. Okay. So, but I ain't gonna tell y'all the details of that one because that takes a long time. And I'm gonna get off here in a few minutes. It's funny that it was Africans enslaving Africans and selling them. So who are the oppressors? Here come the white person with that bullshit. Okay. Now, am I going to say that no black person, no Africans ever sold black people? Initially, yeah. But did they know that they were selling them into the bullshit that they sold them into? Hell fucking no, they didn't. They thought they were selling them into a normal type of slavery that was common in that era. It wasn't the type of slavery that the Americans pulled off. Now, the fact of the matter is, the first slaves that actually came weren't slaves from Africans selling Africans. They were slaves from the Portuguese fighting a battle off the coast of Ghana and then forcing those people who lost that battle to bring their happy ass back to Portugal. So you better learn some damn history before you come talk to me, little fella. Then the next part about it is that the Dutch realized that it is cheaper just to go in there and just snatch motherfuckers up than to trade with the Africans who were there, especially because the Africans stopped trading with the Dutch in order to get guns so that they can fight the wars that the Africans was fighting against each other. Now, I'm not saying that every African person is great, but what African person instituted chattel slavery in America? White people. What African person instituted fucking laws that said that a black man can't even marry nor look at a white woman? White people. What African decided that on Jim Crow laws, which was copied by the Nazis? The Nazis copied fucking Jim Crow laws in order to create the regime that they had over there. White people. All right. Who decided on redlining that I talked about earlier? FDR. White people. Who decided that they were not going to do an anti-lynching law until just a few days ago? So over 200 anti-lynching laws came into play. White people. Who decided on manifest destiny that it was a white man's right to go across America and take Native American people land just by putting fucking sticks in the ground. White people. Who decided that they were going to, in order to eliminate the indigenous people, were to scalp them and pay them $200 for every scalp they found? White people. Who put smallpox on blankets in order to kill Native Americans? White people. So before you come talking to me about your one little tidbit of black people in Africa not doing the right thing, there's a laundry list of white people oppressing the fuck out of everybody else. And to this day, who is policed more? Black people. By whom? White people. So I don't know if you black or white. If you black, then you the dumbest motherfucker I ever met in my life. But if you're not, what you are is one of those white people who you don't want to accept the responsibility of what your ancestors did. And it makes you feel bad, which is why y'all are so against critical race theory, because you don't want to feel bad. They enslaved the okay, so what do you call the English enslaving the Scottish? What do you call the Scottish and the English enslaving the Irish? What do you call Julius Caesar saying that the people of Britain are no more worthy of anything other than being a beast of burden or a slave? What do you call Julius Caesar saying that about white people? Okay? What do you say about World War I, World War II, which is all bullshit with white people? This is why I don't give a fuck about Ukraine, because that's y'all shit. All right. So before you start thinking that you know something, go sit your little ass down in the library and go learn something. Get off Google and stop listening to some other bullshit rhetoric, because you obviously don't know nothing about history. Who decided to give black people a platform to be racist? Bruh, you ain't worth my time and you're not part of my plan. So you just keep on moving. See, I love people like you because all you do is galvanize black people to realize that these white people will forever try to blame the victim. And I'm not saying black people didn't do anything wrong. Of course, people do things wrong. But no black person, no black country went up to Europe and just snatched motherfuckers and turned them into chattel slavery, beat and whipped the shit out of them, forced them out of their ancestral religions and cultures, and then try to blame them for it. Nobody did that. What group of black people went into a white town and bombed the shit out of it because they were jealous that the black people were making too much money? It's called Tulsa. It's called Charleston. It's called Wilmington. It's called Jacksonville. And there's a plethora more. I don't think that there was white people's land up in Lake Lanier, Georgia, who was flooded out so that the white people can now have lakefront property and their fucking towns up underwater up there. That what white town did black people go do that to? Yeah. Go learn about your culture, bruh. Go learn about your culture. I know it's embarrassing as hell. I know it is. And you can call me racist. I don't really give a shit. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. If you want to call me racist, call me a racist. Hell, I'll be your racist. All right? It's not about color. It's about the weak and the strong. Boy, it's about technology. The only reason white people were able to develop the technology that they had is because Europe couldn't provide enough food for the people. So necessity, you should have learned this in elementary. Necessity is the mother of all inventions. So white people had a necessity to leave their lands and go find resources. That's why having the Silk Road and going to China was so important, because they needed other people's property. They needed other people's resources because Europe cannot provide for the people that they had there. That's why the East Indian British Tea Company or some shit like that had to go to India and try and steal their resources. That's why Alexander the Greek, because the fucker wasn't great, had to go and try to conquer other people's places because he needed the resources, because Greece didn't provide enough resources for their people. No, black people was chilling with plenty of resources and didn't need to come to Europe and steal people's shit. Black people was chilling in Africa, didn't need to come to America. Matter of fact, if you did some research, little fella, you'll learn that when Christopher Columbus and all them other motherfuckers came over to America, that when they got here, they found out that the black people from Ghana had already been trading with the people who was already here, which is why the word Ghana, which means gold, and when you look at some of the native languages over here, the word that means gold is like Ghanana or Ghanaian, or is something similar to Ghana. And they said that they had already been trading with these large dark men from the East. So what the hell? Ask yourself why Christopher Columbus had 4 black brothers navigating his ship. Because them brothers who came out of Ghana already knew the trade winds that blew your happy ass to the Americas, down through South America, and blew your happy ass right back to Africa. Go look at how the tides move, and you'll see that, little fella. But before you come and talk to somebody, like Karis once said, you got to know the author. You got to know the author of the. What do you say about? How's it go? If you don't know the author, then you don't know what you're reading. Something like that. So basically, what I'm saying, if you don't know me, little fella, you better go learn who I am before you come in here and say some dumb shit like that. Because I'll run your ass ragged. Oh. I'm about to be done with y'all in a minute because I got to be polite to my customers, even though they over here laughing at me.
No, laughing with you, sir.
Numbers alone.
With you. Not at you, with you.
Yeah, these little folks, they crack me up because they have their whitewashed history. They have their history that tells them that they're great. Because by telling them that they're great, it perpetuates their own inner insecurities. You see, if history taught you anything correctly, you will understand the evils to which this country was built on and all the bullshit that happened. But because you don't know that, you think that it is black people's fault for the situation that they're in now. You'll think that every slave that came to America was sold by an African, which very few. You're talking about what? From 1492 to 16. When did slave trade? 1805.
Okay.
It was when it was outlawed. So from 1492 to 1805, the slave trade happened. You think black people were selling black people for that damn long? You're not your damn mind. That's bad economics. I'm gonna just be straight. If I'm white and I'm Dutch, that's not good economics. When I got guns and they don't have guns, I can just go take people. The fuck I'm gonna pay for them for at that point? What's that?
If you could ever touch on that, make the Masonic order. If you really want to bring light to dark.
Well, we're gonna have to leave that alone. Yep, the Arabs too. That's why I wouldn't trust the Arabs to be a part of what we're trying to build, because the Arabs are still conducting their trans-Sahara slave trade, which is one of the reasons why Southern Africa couldn't get down with Gaddafi, because he's still allowing that shit to go on. I've blackwashed history? No, fool. I'm just telling you what history is. You teach that you're superior to white and that you are all gods. Look here. See, this shows that you have absolutely no knowledge of who I am, because if you had any knowledge of who I am, then I actually teach that every person is a divine energetic being who is trapped in the carcass of a body. And in that body, in this matter existence, we have things that separate us like race. But since we have to exist in this damn plane, I'll be damned if I'm going to exist at the bottom. And I'm not saying that we're going to go and conquer white people and we're going to make white people slaves. I'm just saying we can't live with y'all in America. That's what I'm saying. So if you get your little feelings out of it, you understand what I'm actually saying. That a black man will never get a fair shake in America because of the way America is set up and designed and continues to perpetuate itself. So in order for us to get a fair shake, in order for us to have those things that are written in the preamble of the Constitution, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, in order for black people to truly have that, we have to separate ourselves from the country that has oppressed us ever since we got to this motherfucker and ever since they got here. So it hasn't changed. It ain't gonna change unless we decide to make a change. And if you are loving your whiteness, then you should love the fact that your white privilege gives you the ability of self-determination. Black people are looking to have the same thing. The only difference is you're used to black people asking. I'm not fucking asking no more. I have no time to ask. I'm demanding. The hard part is to realize that everything you were taught is a lie. You are absolutely right. All that shit is a lie. Don't allow those people in my space to live in my life. Exactly. I don't allow them either. But when they say something stupid like that, it gives me a great little opportunity to express more to black people of why we need to leave. Because that is the mentality, the sentiment of the people that we are thinking we can live with. We can't. Now, we have our own nation. They have their nation. Then they have nothing to do but respect us. And when they come into our nation through a passport system, they're not coming into our nation thinking they can carry their white privilege, even though some of them motherfuckers do. I saw a video the other day. I don't know if it was in Jamaica or somewhere where this white lady was recording these black dudes, and she was saying, "Well, I'm invoking my constitutional right." Heifer, you are not in America. You don't have a constitutional right in another person's country. See, that's that bullshit right there. And see, you were taught that America is great and all men are created equal. Yeah, those are great words. And those are the kind of words that should be done. But those same people who wrote those words, that all men are created equal, and what?
But they didn't go to the next 3 pages.
Right. But even in that, yeah, they didn't go through the next 3 pages. But even when they wrote all men are created equal and are some shit about under God giving their divine right of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, with inalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Those same people who wrote that, they only meant land owning white Anglo-Saxon Christian males. Women weren't included in that. Black people weren't included in that. The indigenous people weren't included in that. So you have to stop thinking. My teacher from 6th grade, Mr. Ragsdale, made up a word called historism. Historism to him was the idea of taking today's morality and imprinting it on people long time ago. You can't do that. The context and the complexity of the culture at that time frame, when they wrote about all men are created equal, they weren't talking about me, because I wasn't considered a man. They still teach. They taught up into the 1930s. It was definitely taught in higher education in eugenics that black people had thicker skin, therefore we feel less pain, that we don't have souls, that and this is why still today black women die in childbirth and black babies die more so than white babies, because they ignore the pain that black women talk about in childbirth, and so black women die more often. This shit is still going on, little fella. So you need to understand that your mindset does not equate to 200 years ago, but your mindset is still a race-based mindset. Although you may think it's not, it still is. And it makes you feel good to be able to call out a black man for saying things like, I want to separate from y'all, because we not going to get a fair shake as long as we live here with y'all. So no. And
Touch on religion.
I already that's why I say you should have got here like 5-10 minutes before you got here, because I was talking about religion then.
Do a recap. Tell them, just say, oh yeah, one little thing I want you all to read. Go back and read Isaiah 45:5.
I think somebody just posted something about Isaiah. Let me see what they posted about Isaiah. Now there was a guy in here, and he's my guy. We was having a religious conversation, and I was like, damn, we should have went live on that conversation. Somebody did post Isaiah 45:7, where it says, I form the light and I create the darkness. I make peace and I create evil.
See, but they don't.
I, the Lord, do all.
They don't accept Isaiah 45:5-6.
What does 5 and 6 say?
I am the Lord thy God, and besides me there is no other.
Okay.
Because see, a lot of them call upon Jesus and then God.
Well, see, that's because they're Christian.
That's why I'm saying they need to read that, and then they're going to say, well, they're going to discount that. You can't discount it.
Well, what they say is that when God was saying that he was the three that is recognized in heaven, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
See,
so then they're going to say that Jesus was always with God from the beginning, because Jesus is God. So they're going to say that 45:5 still applies to Jesus.
So then you ask them, say, so do you think Jesus psychologically imbalanced when he's on the cross, when he looked up to the heavens and said, my God,
why has that
forsaken this?
I know.
Talking to himself.
I'm with you, because right, he's talking to himself, because in the Hermetics it says that the all is the all, and the all can never be separated from the all. The all can never have any part of the all taken away from, because then therefore it is no longer the all. So the all can never lose a piece of himself. So if Jesus is saying that, why have thou forsaken me? Then Jesus is saying that at that moment, for a split second, however long it lasted, 3 days, whatever it is, that God and Jesus were separated. So therefore that makes God not God. That makes Jesus not God.
But even that can't stand alone, because when in the Garden of Gethsemane, he bowed down and said, this is how we pray, our Father who art in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
He bowed down, he fell prostrate, he fell headlong.
Yep.
So did he separate again?
Yeah, he separated again.
Oh, okay, so that was number separation number 2.
So there's more separation.
Yeah, there's more separation.
But see, this
Bible also said a little leaven leavens the whole lump. So a little light distorts the whole truth.
Y'all see what I got to deal with over here.
Yeah, man. Look, you ain't touched on it.
He going in over here. I told him he should have got here early when I first started this damn thing. Then we could have been on that subject matter. But we talking about separating from and building our own. Yep. Which in separating, we have to put down our religion
We do to rely on one
to be able to. We have to put our religion down, so that we can come in unity, because that religion will separate us over and over again. Like, simply because I'm not Christian, Muslim, Jew, none of those things, a person may say, well, I don't want to follow him. I don't want to do his plan. But my plan ain't got nothing to do with your religion.
Right.
As soon as we separate, we build our own lands, you can practice whatever religion you want to. Like, the Constitution is actually the first part is a very good document. Okay. If you put it into actual practice. Right. If you actually believe that all men are created equal, and you set up laws and systems where all men are legitimately created equal and given equal rights under the law.
But you have to identify you know what? Watch this.
And I would change it from men to just people.
Now, hold on. This is what you ought to get. Just as an extra little caveat for y'all to be your homework.
Why don't you just say it louder so they can hear you? People always you want to be on my damn live, but they want to be here late and shit.
Oh, you want to hold a live while we're here? So what you expect?
Exactly.
Let me let y'all see.
Yes, baby. We on, baby.
We on. So this is what I would like for people to do their research and homework, to identify the first black president of the Americas.
Oh, that's not hard.
No, it's hard for a lot of people because they never heard about it.
That's not hard.
See, we think that Obama was the first president, but it wasn't. There was a black man.
Okay, stupid.
Who was the first president?
Well, see, there's a question, a statement that must be made in order for somebody to truly answer that question.
What statement must be made?
That statement must be made is, are you talking about the first president under the U.S. Constitution or the first president on the Articles of Confederation?
Or the Articles of Confederation.
Exactly. And then the first president on the Articles of Confederation was who?
He was a Negro.
What was his name?
I forgot his name.
Hanson.
Hanson, that's it. He was
Hanson.
a Negro.
Cool, that would hit that. His term was for yet 1 year, but a lot of the things that we have in the presidential office right now was set up by him. Mm-hmm. They try to give a lot of that credit to George Washington. George Washington did set up some stuff that's still valid today.
That is correct.
But John Hanson set up the majority of shit that's still set up today.
Yeah, they followed his protocol.
Mm-hmm. We still got leading motherfuckers. These kind of people that come to the lounge early. Later on, we couldn't have this conversation at all.
I'm gonna come in my hat with looking like Marcus Garvey when I come back from Daytona.
Oh Lord, not to complain. And
Shaka Zulu.
Oh, you was trying not to complain and ask my grandma what can I do for the pain? Yeah. Wait a minute. That's truly sad. We need to separate for real. Yep. You're right. I was pregnant. I complained about things and tried doctor didn't. Yeah. Them doctors don't do shit about that. They don't. I used to date a girl who was a birthing nurse. And I mean, I learned so much from her about how black women are ignored in hospitals. And it's all because of eugenics. See, that's the thing that the little fella who was on here earlier don't understand. They literally, I mean, Cornell University, Harvard University, Yale University, all these colleges were teaching that black people are subhuman, that we don't feel pain. This is why the Tuskegee experiment, which just ended in the 1970s, where they denied black people the treatment of syphilis just to see how syphilis functioned in black people, so that they can build a cure for white people. That just ended in the 1970s. I hope little fella's still on here so he can understand that. That, you know, these little younger generation, and even some of the older ones, they think that shit's all damn sunshines and rainbows out here. This shit is just as fucked up, and it's gonna still be that way. Still be. But good people, I've had a good little time here. Got all riled up. Got me a good cigar. This is the longest it's ever taken me to smoke this damn cigar. Because I'm running my mouth.
But you keep running your mouth.
But I had an enjoyable time. So look, this is what we're gonna try to start doing. I'm gonna look to get in here a little bit earlier, like 11. I'm gonna lie and say 11:30. I'm not, but I'm gonna lie and say 11:30. And then I'm gonna go live for as long as I possibly can. How long I can go live is relative to the people who walk through my door. This joker walking through my door, that joker over there walking through my door, I can talk about any damn thing. It don't matter. You know, certain other people walk through the door. I got to maintain a level of separation because some people, they walk through the door, they hear me talking about religion and stuff. They get all, you know, they get their panties in a bunch. Because the thing about religion is this. If someone who has a different religion than yours and they make their statements, and even if they are debunking your religion, and it causes you to have issues, anger, pain, anxiety, whatever it is, then it is not the fault of that person. It is your own fault that you don't have enough religious conviction within what you believe in, that you are strong enough to hear the other side of the coin. Your faith should not be shaken just because somebody disagrees with you. Your faith should not be based on how many people agree with you. You cannot use the scapegoat of, I was told to go and preach it to all the world, and that's why I get so passionate about it. No, your faith is weak if somebody causes you to have a negative emotion because they disagree with you. Even in this instance, even though I got excited, it wasn't negative, it was passion. It was like, thank you for giving me fire, little fellow, because you gave me fire for things that come into my brain that I probably would not have said nor thought about during this whole experience. So I am not shaken in my ideas of leaving and separating from America. I will personally leave this motherfucker. But before I do, I will make sure that things are in place so that we can separate as a nation from these people. Where are leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan who have failed us, with I'm about to call him Jesse Owens, Jesse Jackson, where they have failed us? It is incumbent upon the next leadership to proceed beyond where they failed. They did some good shit. Don't get me wrong.
See, now I got to disagree with you.
Hold on. They did. Okay, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Let me finish this statement.
Okay.
They did some, because you might just back off of me for a minute. I am not denying the good that they did do in the communities that they worked in. I'm not denying the good that they did as far as having laws changed and black people being more recognized and things are not as jacked up. I can walk down the street, look at a white woman and not get lynched. I'm glad for those things. But when I listened to the older speeches of the members of the Nation of Islam and them talking about separation, they had the opportunity but didn't do it. When I listened to the last speeches of Martin, and he started talking about the economics about creating stable black economics, they killed him before he did. He could get the ball rolling, but he did not create the lieutenants up under him who would carry on the fight of the vision that he had. So that is where the mission fell off. That is where I'm picking up. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I want to address my disagreement. What I'll say is this. I'm going to say something totally different than what we just talked about. For those of you all that are paying attention, for those of you that are paying attention, all illness starts in the stomach, so get your colon clean.
You know what? I thought you were going to say something different, but that is not a disagreement. In all actuality,
no, that's why I said that wasn't my disagreement.
No, in all actuality, I'm a vegetarian, right? Mm-hmm. And I eat vegan 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. I didn't today. I eat vegetarian today. But y'all don't understand the foolishness that I have to deal with. But he's actually right. We do have to take better care of our health. My house is going. We're doing a full body detox and cleanse for 4 months, starting in like a week. Okay. So
get down with you.
Many of your sicknesses and illnesses and diabetes and all this stuff that they use to control us with, by feeding you all these pills and medicines and all that, if you clean your gut, it will get rid of the majority of diseases that ail you. Actually, you want a white person's stamp of approval? What's the boy King? How much is that cigar? I might want my taxes. Okay, we ain't giving you no change.
Damn.
Napoleon Hill.
Okay. Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. One of the things that he wanted now,
positive mental attitude.
He talks about the fact that you have to, that most people who suffer from diseases and illnesses is because their intestinal system is like a sewage, and they need to clean it out. Now, the real book that he wrote was called Outwitting the Devil, but they didn't want to publish that book, so he whittled that down into Think and Grow Rich. And Outwitting the Devil, he goes deeper into the fact that you got to clean your gut if you want to have a healthy body and a healthy mind and a healthy spirit.
That's correct.
Well, I don't like saying spirit, a healthy soul. So, even though it does have something to do with what we're talking about, because the clutter of the mind can be cleared up if you have a healthy body.
Think better.
You think better. So I'm going to give you that one because more oxygen is going to your brain so you can think with more clarity. I'm going to give you that one.
That's why smiling is important.
And we need to learn how to meditate and all that so that we can actually see without the blinders on. And then we'll be good to go. I'm with you. So
and get a damn hobby.
You know, I try to keep it serious. You know, we talking about how we gonna separate, and then this joker want to throw something else under there.
Because even if we separate and we eat unhealthy, we're gonna die quick anyway.
Very true. You know, more parents are dying now earlier than their children.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm hot. Turn this heater off.
Well, parents are supposed to die before the children.
I mean, you know what I mean. The children are dying before the parents, because I see these little jokers walking around. When I dropped my daughter off at school today, at the high school, I see so many obese children. I'm like, these jokers got diabetes, and they like 17 years old, 16 years old. That's a damn shame.
9 years old, 8 years old.
That is a damn shame. Yeah, I know. And y'all smoking.
But we smoking cigars, not cigarettes.
Okay, this is true. We are smoking. And everybody has some level of some vice that they should not be doing. I will grant you that right off the whip. Right off the whip. But let me give you a difference. Let me give you a little bit of education on cigars. One, unless it's one of those infused sweet cigars, there are absolutely zero chemicals in a cigar. It is all natural. All natural.
Can I hit him with one?
Now, wait a minute. Let me go.
Okay, go on.
Now, unlike cigarettes that has over 400 different chemicals that are harmful to the body, cigars have zero. Unlike cigarettes, unlike marijuana, you do not inhale cigars, so cigars do not go into your lungs. It is so rare that it almost never happens that a cigar smoker gets cancer. Cancer is usually gained by cigarette smokers. So although it is not technically a healthy choice, you're absolutely right, it is nowhere near. And I'm going to add, the majority of food that you eat is worse than a damn cigar. What do you have to say?
And one other thing I want to add.
I don't know if I want you to add anything.
Now watch this.
You're crazy.
For those of you that are going to get life insurance, most life insurance will allow you to be a cigar smoker, and it's not a hit against your policy.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, let me second that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me second that. Because what's his name? The cigar guy?
The cigar life guy.
Cigar life guy. There's a gentleman in Atlanta. He's called Cigar Life Guy. He is an insurance salesman. This dude is making a mint on the fact that he gets policies for people who smoke cigars, because most insurance people don't know that cigar smokers don't get a hit. If I sold insurance, I'd be hitting that shit. That dude picked the niche and is running with it, and nobody else is picking it up.
And he's not doing anything that's different than any insurance companies allow him to do.
Right, because this is not a hit against your insurance policy. Because trust me, I got, how many insurance policies I got now? Because I buy them things like they going out of style.
How old was this gentleman when
I got about 20 of them. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see this.
Show him the picture.
I don't know if we're gonna wear shit. All right, hold on. Let me show y'all something. Sorry about that. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all something real quick. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't want y'all going out smoking cigar. Actually, I do if you're going to go and buy them for me. But you see this gentleman right here? That gentleman right there. There's a reason why he's on my wall. This man, before he died, he used to smoke 12 plus cigars a day. 12 plus cigars a day.
Tell him how old he was.
He used to take a shot of whiskey every morning. He ate butter pecan ice cream every day. He had a brilliant philosophy of life. His philosophy of life is that he didn't worry about anything and he only did what made him happy. Right? That man lived to be 112 or 114.
112.
He lived to be 112 years old. The very doctors that was telling him that he need to stop smoking, all of them died before he died. They all died before he died. Because he smoked cigars. Now, if he smoked cigarettes like that, he would have died a long, long ass time ago. But he didn't. So I'm not advocating for y'all to go out and start smoking cigars. I'm not. Even though I own a cigar lounge. This is my lounge. This is the cigar lounge. I'm not advocating for that. Yes, the hell I am. Shit, I own a business.
You are advocating.
But it is actually healthier for a person to come in here and smoke cigars than to go to my gourmet popcorn shop, which is 3 doors over. Mm-hmm. Because the cigars are actually healthier than the damn popcorn. That's a damn shame, man.
That is a damn shame.
Especially when I add all that chocolate and all that cheese and
all that shit.
All that caramel. That shit's good. But it's better than eating ice cream. It's better than eating cookies and all that.
Oh, and also tell the listeners.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Hey, listeners.
Here, why don't you tell them?
Okay, hey, listeners, just another tidbit of information.
Oh, my glasses go.
Drink room temperature water as opposed to cold water. And especially after you eat. Cold water makes grease hard. So guess what happens inside the body? Lukewarm or room temperature water, not cold ice water.
Well, I said I had no subject, so this is fine. Did I sit on my glasses? I don't know. Because I can't read shit. You know, I need my reading glasses.
You want to put mine on right quick? So you can't find yours.
So, since you mentioned water, you know that you should drink a glass of water before you go to bed at night? Room temperature water?
And when you first wake up in the morning.
It helps your metabolism to burn the food off?
And first thing when you wake up in the morning, first thing you should put in your body is a glass of room temperature water to open up the organs, wake up the organs.
And I'm gonna go ahead and embarrass myself a little bit on this one, as far as health. I know I own a popcorn shop now. I know that I have a cigar lounge, but my first long-term business that I had for 10 years and then sold was a gym and personal training studios. Look, man. More people wanted to be out of shape and eat shit than wanted to exercise and do better. So, hell, who am I to tell them what to do? What do I do with my glasses so I can read what they're saying?
I actually do want to put mine on right quick.
So it's all about the taste, not feel from the inhale. Well, here's the thing about, man. Let me see. God damn, I can see Mars. So actually, cigar smoking, these are some glasses on me. Cigar smoking is about, there is a taste that you get. If you grow your palate into smoking cigars, then you can get the nuances of cocoa and cashews and things like that. But you do get a CBD-like calming feeling from smoking a cigar, and you never have to inhale. If you inhale a cigar, it's going to choke the shit out of you.
Or you're going to get high as hell.
I have a question about the Bible God. Wait a minute, about the Bible. God said, let us make man in our own image. Who is the us and the our? Well, I just did a video about that one, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you from my perspective.
Get 'em.
So, the us and the our. You have to understand that the Genesis story is merely a copy of the Sumerian story, which they picked up when they were captives in Babylon in the 500s. And it was so the Babylonians actually come from the Assyrians, Akkadians, and back all the way up to the Sumerians. In the Sumerian story, the us is when Enki created a revolt with the lower level Anunnaki to stop doing it so that they didn't want to work as much. Anu agreed, and then Enki said, well, I have figured out that we can take the genome of these man races and we can make them into a higher creature so that they can then do the work of mining gold for us. This is why it says that in Eden there was a lot of gold, because that don't make sense. If there's only two people there, then what does gold matter? So the us was Enki, Ninharsag, Enlil, and Anu deciding that they were going to make man in their own image because they was using the DNA from the Anunnaki in order to speed up man's development. So when the Hebrews took that out of Babylon, they just converted that into the us of God. And then as Christians came along, they turned that doctrine to mean the us is the three that witness in heaven, which is God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So there's your us. But that's the history of how it changed, though. All things change. Just like the word awful. Awful used to mean full of awe, like amazing. Now awful means something terrible because it started being referred to storms. So because it referred to storms, they changed the meaning of it. But the original meaning of let us create man is the Sumerian gods of Anu, well, the aliens basically, of Anu, Enki, Enlil, and Ninharsag, down in southern Africa, fucking around with man's genome to make us a higher creature closer to the Anunnaki. Which is why later on you get giants and shit. That's vice, sir. You put your big ass reading glasses on. I don't know where my glasses at. My destiny helper look for me now in Jesus. What? My destiny helper look for me now. I don't even know what that means, bro. You not repeat the same thing and it don't make no sense. The gentleman's name, yep, Richard Overton. That's him. That's why he's on my wall. Don't the acid in your stomach change all that? I'm not sure what we
Change all the what?
I don't know, because that was so, we now went 50 million miles. God says, let us make man in our own. Okay, that's the same question. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing? Any thought on flat earth? Yeah, I don't agree with flat earth. Flat earth comes from people reading the Bible and thinking because it says four corners of the earth. So that's what flat earth came about. Now understand, the majority of the known world at that time frame did not believe the earth was flat. They knew the earth was a globe. You know, the Egyptians, Sumerians, the Chinese, the the Australians, the original Australians, the Asians, they all knew that the earth was some form of a globe. Even Christopher Columbus, when he decided he wanted to sail, he thought the earth was 4 times smaller, but shaped more like a pear, that it was smaller at the top and bigger on the bottom. So, but because the Bible says when Jesus stood and he was talking to the devil, or what, supposedly talking to the devil, that he saw all 4 corners of the earth, then corners have to be on a flat surface. So, yeah, the earth being flat, I don't buy it. Plus, gravity wouldn't work on a flat earth. Gravity be a motherfucker, because gravity will be in the center. That means everything will be being pulled like a big dog to the center. If you threw a ball that way and the center was that way, that ball's going that way, because gravity will be a bitch. But then people talking about some flat earthers will say gravity don't exist.
I know.
So then you'd be but because you're enclosed in this dome. But the other thing, if the sun was inside of this dome, it would burn the shit out of everything there. Plus, if the sun was inside the dome, you wouldn't be able to have seasons.
See, in Islam,
as well.
In Islam, it says that God created a canopy around the earth to protect the earth.
Right? Yeah, it's called the ozone layer. Right. The canopy is the ozone layer. And understand, the whole idea of the water separating the waters comes from the Egyptian teaching of the Ogdoad, where I think Nut and Jeb was in a clutch together. And so Ra had another daughter named Shu, who is the wind, and the wind came and separated the waters. So, and that water means the fresh waters and the salt water. But if you go to the Sumerians, then the idea of Anu and Anu and Tiamat was Anu representing the fresh water and Tiamat representing the salt water. And then they had to have a separation. They separated, which created the land and the separation. And they honestly, here's the thing. You're talking about people who believe that the blue sky was water, was an ocean above and up in the heavens. Reflection. So that's why they say it's the waters separating the waters, because they thought that blue shit was water, not sunlight reflecting through water vapor. Because no, in truth, the sky's black. Because when the sun go down and there's no light shining through, shit's black. Because space is filled with dark matter. Space is not empty. It's just filled with dark matter. Was Eve the first mate to Adam? Well, according to the Kabbalah, the first mate of Adam was Lilith. And because Lilith was made at the same time as Adam, and you got to think about it, in Genesis chapter 1, whenever the 6th day is, I think it's like verse 24, somewhere around there, it said, let us create man in our own image, male and female, and let them multiply and subdue the earth. Well, it said refill the earth. The original said refill, but they changed it to fill, because they know refill means to do some shit again. Mm-hmm. But they changed it to fill and subdue the earth. It is said to those in Kabbalah that Lilith was the first woman. She was made equal to Adam, but she didn't want to always have sex on the bottom, so she rebelled against Adam. And then because Adam went and bitched like a little girl to God, then God made her into a demon. And this is how they explain crib death for them, that Eve was a demon that went and killed children at night, and she caused crib death, and she would take those souls, and those became her demons. And her demons were running around doing all this shit. But then that didn't coincide with the story of Satan having a war in heaven, and Satan being cast down, and he got the demons. So that didn't coincide. So that teaching in Kabbalah was then set aside and put as myth.
And it's impossible for Satan to have been an angel, because angels can only do the will of God. That's why man was placed above angels, because man had free thought. Angels did not.
Right, but isn't it also, I don't know whose story it is, that the reason why Satan rebelled is because Satan didn't want to answer to man.
But understand now.
Now, whose story is that though?
I think that was in the Divine Comedy Dante. Was that in Dante's Divine Comedy?
That might have been in there, but that was somebody's old story though,
right?
As well. I can't remember whose old story it was. Though.
But the question becomes, at what point do you learn rebellion in the heavens?
Here's what's stupid. If God is so all powerful, kick everybody's ass, how can there ever be a rebellion in heaven?
That's my point.
But
where would you learn rebellion? Because rebellion is learned behavior.
Yeah. And you also had to have a reason as to why bad shit happened on the planet. If God is all good, then you got to have something that says that bad shit happened on the planet. Which to me, everything exists on a pole. You got extreme good over here, extreme evil over here, and a million different degrees in between. Shit swings. The law of rhythm says that things swing from right to left, from right to left. So for as much good as you have is as much evil as you have. So to me, God and the devil exist on the same plane. They're the same damn thing. Just two sides of a coin. That is why in Isaiah 45:7 it says, I created evil, I created the chaos and all that other kind of shit. Because it's the same being. Which is why in Revelations, the devil is never destroyed. Right? If God's objective was to get rid of evil like he said it was in the Noah story, that he wanted to get rid of all evil, he can't get rid of all evil without getting rid of all good. Because you can't kill yourself.
That's correct.
So, and this is why in Revelation, the Satan character, the beast, is not destroyed, because you can't destroy if you destroy that one, you destroy yourself. Because there has to be duality. Without duality, nothing in the universe exists. Everything has duality. Otherwise, the shit can't exist. You can't have hot without cold. So, anyway, I said I was going to end this, and you just keep on, sir. She said she thought, well, in Christians' teaching, Satan is an angel of the lights, which is why okay, so here's the thing. Satan, Lucifer, the serpent, and the devil are not, and Beelzebub, these are not the same fucking people. All right? I don't care what nobody say, even this joker next to me. All right? Because of Satan is, all of them are titles in a sense. First of all, let's deal with Satan. Satan, the Satan, just means adversary. And if Satan was kicked out of heaven in a battle and shit and cast down, how in the story of Job is this motherfucker going back up to heaven saying, and God said, hey dude, you see my fella Job down there? He chilling, right? Mm-hmm. Why he up there in the heavenly council if he was kicked out? Satan is just a title. This joker was given, hey, you're an angel. You're the adversary. You play devil's advocate to every goddamn thing. That's your job. The serpent in the garden is inky. Okay? The serpent's already crawling on his belly. They need an excuse and a reason for the serpent that crawls on his belly. But the serpent was inky because inky was not supposed to make a version of man that could reproduce. But he did, because no other version of man would be able to sustain what inky needed and what the Anunnaki needed in order to mine gold and to take care of the gods, the aliens. So Enlil is represented by the eagle, while Inky is represented by the serpent. So then the serpent had to be vilified through propaganda in order for Enlil, when him and Inky warred against each other, which is why you get the war in heaven, because they just talking about in the sky. So the serpent is not the devil either. Lucifer is a astrological reference. All right, the light bringer. Every morning, get up, look in the sky into the east. You'll see the planet Venus. It looks like a star, but they didn't know it was a star. They didn't know it was a planet. Venus looks like.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How y'all doing?
All right.
How you doing?
Sorry to interrupt.
Nothing. I'm just doing the live talking trash. But come on in.
He's not talking trash. He's talking knowledge.
He's well. You know what? I believe you. You look
Remember
like
what
you know
said?
what you're doing.
Remember what you said to me the other day? Words are important.
Words are important.
Words matter. What
Yes,
you
ma'am.
put in the universe.
Mm-hmm. You came to smoke with us?
You know what? I came over here to see the lady across the street. I'm throwing a party in her restaurant, The Social, for my hubby.
Okay.
And she said to come check with you about doing a cigar bar.
We can do that.
Okay. How does that? What would that entail? It's gonna be next Saturday on the 19th.
That's fine. I just need to know. In essence, how many people, how many cigars, what cigars you want,
See,
and then how much involvement you want us to have.
How many women are going to be there?
Well, okay, so it's about 26 of us, and everybody's paired up. So you can say half me and half me.
So you want sweet and then you want regular.
Yeah, you want a mixture of sweet, regular, some mild. I would probably do more medium level cigars. That way, you're going to satisfy the palate.
Okay.
I wouldn't do a whole bunch of different ones. You know, maybe like 2 different sweet ones and 3 different mild cigars. So 5 different cigars, period.
Okay.
Or you're giving them to them, right?
Yeah, I want that to be part of like me as the host to.
Right, and what I would need to know is what.
Yeah.
What food?
If I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right.
If you can tell me what food that you're going to be serving, so we can pair it with the food.
Okay.
And if you already know the liquor or wine that's being served, then we can pair it with the wine and the liquor. And then that way we can look at what cigars pair the best with that food and drink. And then we go from there. And then and I would need to know what your budget is for that, because I can pair it with a $30 cigar, but I can also pair it with a $12 cigar.
Gotcha.
You with me?
Okay. So we'll be having like appetizers. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is like wings, pasta salad, egg roll.
What kind of wing? What flavor wing?
I think I got 5 different flavors. So we got like sweet chili, lemon pepper.
Yeah, we need the details of exactly the flavoring.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all ain't playing around. I'm glad I bought my notes.
Well, cigars,
They pay.
like the one that I'm smoking right now, if I ate steak still, this would be great with a steak because it's triple Maduro.
And now there are some men in the park, like my husband, he's not a big cigar smoker, but some of my friends' husbands, they are like really into it. And I think they may do more of the richer ones, I guess.
Yeah, full body ones.
Yeah, okay, full body.
Yeah, so we can, babe, if I have your menu, with your menu, we can pair the right cigars with it, and then with your budget, we can pair the right cigars within your budget.
Okay, so how will it work then? You tell me how many cigars, or do we do 1, 2 of each, or?
Well, that's why we kind of need to know who the people are coming. Well, who the people are.
Who's smoking?
How many people are coming, and what's their gender?
Okay.
Because you do have women who smoke full body cigars. Not all women smoke flavored cigars, and some do smoke flavored cigars as well. It's just not as common. But
Gotcha. I got you.
But to know that information will help make it a more appealing event. It'll make it a better event, I should say.
Okay.
People will go away more satisfied. And that's what you really want. You want people walking away saying that, man, I had a great time, I had a great cigar matched up with myself.
Yes. So, like I said, I think it's going to be half and half, like 13 women, 13 men.
So that's 26 people. So of course so I would say get 30 cigars.
Okay.
Usually I would tell you 40 because it'll be like a 2-box minimum.
Okay.
Which will be 40 cigars.
Now, what is what's the price range for that if I wanted to do 40?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We will have to. It depends on the cigar. Whether it's a $12 cigar or a $15 cigar, or that's where your budget comes into play.
So my budget's probably gonna be closer to the 12 to 15, not really the 30.
Okay.
Cigar.
Oh, we can easily.
That would be,
like, there's a litany of cigars that hit my brain that we carry already. That we can make that happen.
Okay.
And it's Saturday. I can get extra boxes of those cigars. I might already have them, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for like the wings, it would be like lemon pepper, Cajun honey, sweet chili, and like a mild flavor. Okay. So those are kind of like the flavors I'm working with.
So we'll probably rock with some of the My Father cigars on your medium ones that'll go with that one. Like the Antilles or the probably the Antilles is probably the best cigar for that one. Looking in the price range you're talking about, which is a very good cigar. Or the Cigar Veteran. Cigar Veteran will go very well with that one because that one starts out with a little black pepper and then it goes into a nice smooth cashew.
Okay.
Kind of flavor.
Now, would you guys be able to teach us about all this too if you come up with because I'm just saying black pepper. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind coming across the street. Me or my other business partner can come across the street during the event, give a little cigar etiquette. Yes. No, actually, I would prefer that because then I can hand out my card and say, hey.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I can come across.
And then I would bring extra, I do want to provide like a complimentary one to the guests, but I know some of the guests may want to purchase from you as well.
Right. Well, see, I can't bring like my humidor.
Oh, that's true. But they can come see
They
you
can
across.
they can come across the street.
Yes,
and we can satisfy that issue.
That's right.
Or even I could take a order, take a bunch of orders, come over here, get them, and bring them back.
Yeah,
which would make it easier for them since it's just across the street. What time frame?
It's the event starts at 7.
Okay.
On Saturday, of course.
Right in the middle of my other event that I'm doing, but it's okay. I can step out for a minute because Ghost will be here, so it'll be fine. I'll be right with y'all. No, we can make that work.
So now, how would it? Tell me a little bit about the float. So, okay, I think she said we'll set up upstairs. Like, what would I need as far as setup though? How do you?
I mean, all I need to bring really is a small table. It's one of my small tables over there, very, very small table. Like the little black table is only like 2 feet long. Because all I'm gonna really need is 2 boxes to provide for your guests.
Okay.
I can, on my phone, I have my list of all the cigars that we carry, so I can have that. If somebody asks for a cigar, I can go get it. We can give a short little introductory class on cigars for the people who don't know how to smoke and that sort of thing. You're gonna need them to make sure they got their outdoor heater on, because as far as Gwinnett County rules and laws are, they have to smoke their cigars outside.
Right. So I know she did say it would have to be on the patio.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I need is to bring my table and the boxes of cigars that you ordered.
Okay.
And I'm good. Cool. Yeah, I'm good in that framework.
So now, would you prefer like we have you guys come over like in the beginning, or you kind of come in and? Because I'm sure we'll just be kind of mixing and mingling for a while. Or eating,
after y'all kind of get like midway through, because people need to eat before they smoke. Okay. And then CP time.
Exactly. So I said 7. Most people probably show up 7:30.
So we can do like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Okay, let's do 8.
Okay.
Or you can call them when everybody's there.
Yeah, because my event starts at 6.
Okay.
I'll be well into the event, be able to walk away for 20 minutes and be back. So it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Teach cigar etiquette.
Yes, I was damn sure teach them cigar etiquette while I'm there.
I love that because if you're gonna be doing it, you want to do it right.
And I'll do it as a whole cut and light, where I cut the cigar and light them.
Oh, you do that
for people who don't know? Cut and light it.
Yeah, that's
explain the different cuts, the parts, the V cut, the straight cut.
Oh yeah, please do that. Yes, well, I'm glad I came over here because I've been so trying to figure out what to do, and she was like, "We're going across the street," because so many people they sell cigar, but I wanted like a presentation because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, we can make it. I'll make it work.
I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Sell cigar, but I wanted like a presentation because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, we can make it. I'll make it work.
I really appreciate it. That's awesome.
Then the after party can be over here.
This is true.
You know what? It might.
So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what we're going to do.
Okay, tell me what
because I don't know the full palette of people. We're going to do, you said we're going to do 30 cigars, right?
You're going to do 30. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We're going to do 30 cigars.
Well, you tell me. Well, hold on. Let me write this down.
And of course, you're going to have to prepay for it.
Okay.
So we're going to do 15 fat bottom Bettys.
15 fat bottom.
You know what?
Them fat bottom Bettys.
If I were you,
if you were me,
I would probably include a few Tatianas because some of the women smoking they prefer Groovy Blue.
Oh, I heard Tatiana. Somebody did mention
God, you
Tatiana.
make me so sick. I hate that. Okay.
One of the ladies did say Tatiana.
Wait a minute. Excuse me for one. I hate this dude. Okay. Tatianas are horrible because they smell like grape Kool-Aid and they'll take the smell over.
But that's what they like.
All right. So 15. So we're gonna do 10 fat bottom Bettys, 5 Tatiana Groovy Blues, which smell like grape Kool-Aid, had sex with grape punch, and they had this ugly ass baby.
See that? See how you act? But wait. Listen.
Groovy Blues.
It ain't you smoking them; it's them smoking.
I know, and they smoking them over there, so that's fine.
Yeah,
so we'll do those.
Worry about them.
Now we're gonna do. I hate you. We're gonna do 10 of the My Father's Antilles. All right. And then we're going to do 5 of the Cigar Veteran, Lee James.
Cigar
Veteran, Lee James. Because that one's gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be a little bit stronger than the Antilles. So for more of our, it won't be it's not a full Maduro, but You know what? I'm not gonna do Cigar James. Sorry. This would be, but because I'm having an event with Big Boy Cigars, we're gonna do his Savage. Big Boy Savage.
Big Boy Savage, that's the 5 to take place of the veterans.
Yes.
Big Boy Savage.
Mm-hmm. It's a Dominican Puro, but it's a real smooth smoke with a little bit of spice in it. Just a little bit. And since she's having some of that spicy chicken,
Something to go with it.
it'll be something to go with it.
Okay.
And it won't upset the palate.
Right. And it gives 2 different smokes.
There you go.
What up, man?
Of course, come on in.
All right.
I don't know. You got that ball in your hand, so we open.
Hey, how you doing?
Makes life better.
It does,
Right.
my man. Oh, you
So we good?
No,
That's what
he's
we're gonna do.
talking about. You
Okay.
cool?
And so,
And I'm not even gonna charge you for me to come over there.
oh, look at
I normally
getting
would,
better and better.
but I'm just going across.
See what I'm saying?
I'm just going across the street.
It's getting better and better.
If you had me coming across town somewhere or 10,
Oh, I
15 minutes away,
understand. I understand.
so you want to ring that up?
Yeah, let's ring
All right.
up and see what we got.
I'm gonna let y'all finish talking to him for a few minutes.
I don't.
Talk to that man. You don't even remember what we left off on. What I was explaining to you.
Yeah, you talking about Satan.
Yeah, the difference.
Let's see. I heard that the devil was in love with Lilith, and when God got rid of her, and the devil became mad and tempted Eve with eating from the tree. Okay,
Thank you.
so my philosophy on it is this. First and foremost, let's go back to the original. Satan was not an angel. Let's go back to the original. Because as we learned as kids, angels can only do the will of God. So therefore, they had no thought. They had no thought. Now, to go in depth, there's a thing called the jinn that were made of fire. Angels were made of light. The jinn, when they used to have what is called soothsayers, would predict the future. They heard what was happening in heaven, and they would go to the earth and share that with the soothsayers, what they call the fortune tellers. So if you go back and study that, you'll find out where that originated from. And for those of you who are concerned about it, there's a book by Maurice Bucaille called The Bible, the Quran, and Science. If you go back and do the research on that, you would be surprised what you would learn. Because science is a qualifier of almost everything that we think we believe. Because it's proven, you can get rid of the hypothesis, the hypothesis, the theories, and everything, and learn through science.
My father's utility, that's 11 ounces.
Now, let's see. Lowen Harper put on angels or giants. Well, giants were created from, quote unquote, what they call the angels, which have a different name and a different title depending on what history you study. Now, there was a thing called the Nephilim. The Nephilim, if you go back and do the research on the Nephilim were extremely tall, taller than most buildings. When it said that God gave man dominion over the animals, the Nephilim was able to do that because they were huge. They were almost 30, 40 feet tall. If you go back and look in history and do some research on it, you can see the skull of the Nephilims, which are almost the size of a car. So they are extremely huge.
That's all right. I'll write it all down.
Okay.
And then I'll come back.
Let's see. Padovan 65 says, I want to come to the party. Where are you guys located? In Stone Mountain. It's in Stone
I'll come
Mountain.
back by today. Actually, give me just a few.
And it's Phoenix Cigars.
All right. I'm gonna go back and kind of finalize some things over here, and then I'll come back and finalize some things with you.
Let's see. I thought Satan was the angel of light. First of all, Satan was never an angel. There's also a book out called The Divine Comedy, Dante's Divine Comedy, that talks about the 7 levels of heaven and 7 levels of hell. So what I would encourage you to do is go and take a look at the Divine Comedy, Dante's Divine Comedy.
I come over, bring a little table.
Was Eve the first? Okay, he addressed. Was Eve the first mate? Was Eve the first mate to Adam? Well, watch this.
Okay.
If you go back to the beginning, and it talks about Adam and Eve, and then it talks about the kids who were Cain and Abel. And it says that Cain slew Abel and put a mark on his forehead so he would be identified in the land and nobody would harm him. If you talk about the originality of man, then how is it possible that Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel were the first creations, and then Cain went out and married a woman? Where did she come from?
Like next Saturday.
Oh, it's next Saturday. Oh, the 19th.
Mm-hmm. It's not this Saturday.
The state is Georgia. That's in Georgia.
I can make it work. I'm taking my son out. So what I'll do is after I do that, I'll just go straight and take my son. He turned 21, so we can take him to the strip club.
Oh, well, that ain't gonna happen till later anyway. So
I gotta have it early. I gotta take him down first.
So are there any additional questions?
I'll be right.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Do you understand, money?
Yeah, oh yeah. Thank you so much. I'll be right back.
What up, bro?
Your 115 join. Welcome. So for those of you who have just tuned in, we were talking about the history. We were talking about the advantage of developing or creating a place for people of color, creating a state of people of color in terms of geographical, not a state of mind. If you create the people of color, a state, you also change the state of mind. Let's see. We're also talking about religion. We're also talking about health. We kind of went off topic because I came in and kind of changed the flow of things.
Took over.
Not quite took over, just kind of changed the flow of things.
Took over.
Not quite took over. But your moderator and host has returned.
You so stupid.
Back to you, Bob.
I don't even know what we talk about now.
Well, you were talking about Satan.
Oh, I was talking about how they're not the same entity. Oh, so I was saying that Lucifer is an astrological event. It is not a being. So in I forgot where it was written at. But when it was written, I think it's in Isaiah. It was a wise man, a prophet, referring to a king, telling King
Agrippa, not Agrippa.
Not Agrippa. He has a funky little name. Mm-hmm. Telling this king, who was an arrogant king. He said, oh, how ye have fallen, you trying to set your throne up in the heavens. Oh, how ye have fallen like the morning star. The word Lucifer means morning star, light bringer, because when you look into the sky in the east every morning, wherever you see Venus, then the sun will rise right there where Venus is. Now, they identified that as the morning star to let people know where the sun is going to rise. They thought that Venus was bringing the sun along with it. Now, because it looks like the light from Venus fell in the sky, they said that Venus, the star, falls as the sun rises. So the word Lucifer, when they were referring to that, they weren't talking about a being. They were talking about Venus, right? But that got contorted by the Catholic Church to mean an actual being, and they added Lucifer in there because he was trying to set a throne above heaven, because the morning star is above the sun before sunrise. So that was setting yourself up above heaven, and then when the star fell, as the sun rose. So like all things change, you have to go back to the original in order to understand what the actual meaning of it was. So, and my man who was talking, he has an Islamic background. So, of course, his information is coming from an Islamic perspective. And that's the beauty of it. We can have our differences and still just shake hands at the end of the day, which is what we all should be able to do instead of getting all our butt hurt in our feelings. What state do you think? Oh, the reason why I chose the southern states as a states to set up in, 1, there's a lot of rural area. 2, it gives us seaports. 3, the majority of black people in the country live in big cities, but the ones that live in rural areas are in the southeast. So it will make it easier for us to accomplish this task in the southeast than it would be in any other state. So Georgia, since I'm here, honestly, would make it easier. Plus, since those 2 black girls already got it started in middle Georgia, that's the primary reason why I was choosing Georgia. Now, I'm starting to get too many people in the lounge to continue to carry on this conversation. Even though that guy who just walked in, he and I have already had this conversation before. I don't know about that little fellow over there. He may not have been a part of this conversation, so I don't want to hurt his little feelings if he hears something he don't like, even though I don't really care about his feelings. But we will continue another discussion. I'm gonna try to get here. I can't do it at all. I might be able to do it from my popcorn shop tomorrow because I'm gonna be over there tomorrow. So I'm gonna end this right now. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the commentary. It went a lot longer than I thought. Yeah, Smoking Phoenix Cigars in Stone Mountain. That's the cigar lounge that I own. Now, mind you, if you come here and I'm here and you want to have this kind of discussion, depending upon who's in the room, we can have it. If a different crowd is in the room, we can go outside. If it's cold, though, I'm not going outside in the cold. Tell you right now, I don't do that cold weather. I got a couple of brothers who come up here. They always want to have this kind of conversation with me, but we can't do it outside when it's cold, and we damn sure ain't gonna do it in the lounge because I'm not going to offend my lounge members nor my lounge clients. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, and we don't talk about religion. We can talk about separating from America. We can talk about that in the lounge amongst everybody, but the religious part, no. You don't do that. That's bad cigar etiquette to talk about religion, politics. What is it? Religion, politics. What's the other subject you don't talk about in the lounge?
We're talking about
That you don't talk about.
yeah, religion and politics.
Religion, politics. It's one other subject matter you don't talk about in the lounge.
Those are only two I remember: religion and politics.
Oh, if you have a mixed lounge, you don't talk about race.
Right.
Yeah, if you have a mixed lounge, you don't talk about race.
Sexual orientation.
Oh, and sexual orientation. That's the other one. Sexual orientation. You don't talk about those in the lounge. Not as a public discussion with people and a mixture of that. Because that creates heated arguments. Because the lounge is a place to relax, chill, have conversation, network. No judgments. Except for that dude who said that he will smoke a cigar after another man because he sucked dick. Except for that motherfucker. That part. Y'all don't believe me, but that shit actually happened. If you was on my Smoking Phoenix page, you would have heard me tell that story of a dude who said he smoked cigars after other men because he sucked dick. That's foul. It's not foul that he does that. That's his own business. But that's not lounge etiquette at all. That got a ban. You know he's banned from every cigar lounge in Atlanta?
He should be.
Like every cigar lounge in Atlanta. That's how I found out. Because I found out who he was, so he's banned. You know, he cannot walk into any cigar lounge in the city.
But can you ban them legally?
Yes.
Are
you sure? You can ban up.
I'm just curious.
But you can't ban it because of that.
You can't ban them because you give them something
You
else.
can deny him service.
Yeah, for some other reason.
Right.
But you can't say, hey, let you in.
Yeah, it's just like the guy who stole from Jay Cigars.
That's different.
He's banned from every lounge.
Yeah, that's
because he stole.
Yeah.
You know, he's a known thief. So yeah, you can ban motherfuckers. I can write a refusal. I'm sorry, dude is not gonna be in here picking up folks' cigars because they stepped outside.
Hell no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. You know, but I'm just saying. You know,
come on up to Georgia, Arkansas.
You know, what's his name?
Come
All right, I got to go for real, y'all. Y'all have a good one. As I say in all my YouTube videos, you got to be yourself. I can't even say it.
Sure did.
Oh, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. And we will create our own land, our own country.
They was good back then, but not now.